You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.
Brought up a conversation last week, and obviously I think we're going to hear a lot more about it as time goes on when it comes to this retirement of Vince Carter's jersey.
You gotta do it.
Now, okay, again, so has your sentiment changed at all from when we got the announcement last week?
Nah, I think they should have announced it way earlier.
Yeah, I'm with you
on
that.
Last year when the Nets announced that they were going to retire Vince Carter's jersey, I was very disappointed with the Raptors in seeing that there was no plan at that point. We hadn't heard about it.
Yeah.
And then now we're seeing what they did. We've seen Dixon Courts they fixed up.
Yeah.
Tributed to Vince.
He was emotional.
And from back in the days, they always had that VC15 sign on the rims.
Yeah.
I got family that lived in that area, so I know.
Dope.
The courts look amazing. I want to go play over
there.
Yeah,
we'll
but
pull
I
up.
mean,
we'll pull
up. Vince is our biggest NBA star, maybe ever, because of what he did and revolutionized the game in Canada, Toronto.
Talk to
just
them.
Made it bigger. We talked about our highlights with Vince Carter just being so happy when he won the dunk off and rep for us. He really loved that Toronto jersey. He repped right.
Yeah.
So VC was like we had Mighty Mouse, we had T-Mac, we had Marcus Camby, but VC was that guy. And that popped the franchise off.
And this is why I'm so, I was actually taken aback this week. I'll be honest with you, because, we listened to, all of the sports pundits and, in Canada and in the U.S. And I was very disappointed with a lot of them. And I have a little bone to pick, I'd say, right? So,
really?
For all of those that, still have a 20-year grudge, for a 26-year-old human being that made decisions that a 26-year-old human being make and are still harboring any type of feelings to this day. And I'm hearing he set the franchise back and yada, yada, yada. Let me be the first to tell you that you guys are losers.
Go in.
You guys are top-tier losers. And listen, I understand, still being in your mom's basement. It's okay. You can come out. It's the world can be a scary place.
Get him.
Please leave from behind your computer and all of this trash. It sounds so stupid. Like, as I mentioned, I'm hearing some of the most prominent sports broadcasters in Canada sound like spoiled, entitled fans. So I get it. I lived it. I was one of those people too that said, I'll never forget Vince. I'll never forgive Vince. But something changed.
With time, you grow up.
Listen, I started to believe in myself. I became motivated, started to work hard. I started to make a little bit of money, right? The women, starting to be around a lot more prettier women, nice cars.
Man, cool.
Ultimately roses.
Go in.
I got a life, right? And in getting that life, I realized that I can't let another person's decisions impact me in any way, shape, or form, especially if I have no personal connection to them, right? So, for those still struggling, as with the retirement of Vince Carter's number 15 jersey, I offer this. We won. The basketball faithful of Toronto, the loyal legions of Raptors fans, we have an NBA title. We celebrated victory at the top of the NBA mountain, right? Unfortunately, Vince doesn't have this. So the conversation goes like this. Hey, Vince, you're so instrumental in what you've done for Canada basketball.
Right.
Love seeing you as a Toronto Raptor and growing and becoming an all-star. And, we're so excited to retire your jersey. It's going to look so great beside our 2019 Eastern Conference Finals champion. And it's going to look even better right beside the 2019 NBA Finals champion. Listen, Vince, I tear up every single time.
My son is
every single time I think about it. Vince, you would love the finals. They're amazing. And end of conversation. Listen, we've gotten more from Vince Carter than Vince Carter's gotten from Toronto. Right? I understand in real time, you can't quantify what the impact of what notoriety can do, right? I get that. But what Vince Carter maybe has done for one single franchise, especially back then, I don't know if another player has done for a franchise and a country, to that magnitude, right? Like, and I can just simply, like, just the nightly highlights, seeing this player every single night on ESPN, not just on Sportsnet or TSN, see him on the biggest stage, the Olympics, dunking over the 7-footer.
Incredible
Probably one
memory.
of the biggest NBA basketball Olympic highlights ever, right?
I've watched that a million times.
Yo, the Nike campaigns. The Shocks were the biggest shoe in the world when Vince Carter was wearing
I
them.
went to a commercial audition for
Bomb. Right? Again, you mentioned the jersey. The social impact of the coolness that he made that Raptors jersey in mainstream media, in hip hop, in pop culture.
The 51 versus Phoenix.
100. Look again. I'll even gonna take it a step further. Vince, maybe to me, is top 15 athletic or naturally gifted players in NBA history. Listen, I'll even say this.
15, I would say higher.
Okay, hey, talk to them roses. I'll check the comments later. Left right hand jumper, off the dribble, can shoot mid range, post work, money from the line. Oh yeah, and probably the best in-game dunker ever. His hops,
incredible.
His bounce was unreal. Right? So, again, I'll check the comments for anybody that wants to debate that. I'm here for the smoke. All right? So, again, long and short of it, we've had more good times with Vince than we had bad times with Vince, right? Like, he didn't have to come back every year and do those Vince Carter classics. He didn't have to, but he did.
I went to one.
Bro, I went to every single one of them.
Weekend.
Bro, we never had nothing like that in the city, bro. So again,
he brought out bottle service.
Bro, as you get older, and if you're a little older man, and you know about Inside Nightclub, if you know, like that was a thing. So listen,
inside.
I am all about giving people their flowers while they can smell them.
Right.
So I think I'm gonna end it on that. But I do want to say, for all y'all that still hold that grudge, get a life. Y'all are still losers, for real, for real.
You are now tuned into Blueprint Radio.